What's good, everybody? It's Mr. Composition, the MC that writes fiction, back at it with another reaction. We got hip hop's most tragic beef, Kanye versus Big Sean. Now, if you're new to the channel, make sure to leave a like, subscribe, notification bells on so you don't miss when I drop a new video on the road to 5K. Man, let me say before we even started this, man, the Kanye versus Big Sean beef is pretty much just as tragic to me as the Kanye versus Kid Cudi beef. Those that fracture, that rip, those to me was just like so crazy because just the fan of them, especially during that time, and the music that they created, it's just all like I didn't see it coming. Like, we're talking about 2010, 2009. And this was me just getting out of, high school and, them dropping the good, when they was doing the Good Fridays, like, they was just on the run and then individually they were doing their thing. And it was just, a breakup, like a freaking ending of relationships. Like it is pretty tragic. It is pretty tragic. And I'm seeing, I would say Kid Cudi not as much because I still react and listen to, Kid Cudi. If you look on his like YouTube channel, he's still dropping stuff pretty consistently. And, I can say with both artists, Big Sean and Kid Cudi, after good music, style of music, or after Kanye's, touch, things do sound different, and I can't say whether it's good or bad because it's just all like we're hearing these people basically mature to their own, so to speak. So that's why I clicked on this and wanted to see what was being said because I'm just all like it is a pretty tragic beef. So let's go ahead and get into this.
What I've always found most interesting about celebrity dramas and like rap beefs and all that is that if you look a little bit closer, they're just the same problems that people be having every day with their friends or coworkers or whatever. Take Kanye West
Yeah.
for example. Kanye as well as Drake probably have the most rap beefs out of any rapper, and if you look a little closer, it's mostly because Kanye or Drake feels insulted by someone they thought was close. Now there's one particular secret beef that highlights all of this perfectly, and it's Kanye's beef with Big Sean. For those of you that don't know, Big Sean
Wait.
is a rapper who was signed to Kanye's Good Music. He's not signed to Good Music anymore, but he was for a really long time. Now, Big Sean had a problem. He wasn't aware that Kanye be tripping a little bit sometimes. Because back in the day, everything we know about Kanye, people didn't know all that. They just thought, oh, Kanye just be
Yeah.
rapping. But the people who worked closely with him understood that Kanye just be wilding sometimes. And it was no different for Big Sean. So Big Sean is coming up around the same time as Drake is coming up, right, Kanye?
It is one of those things that I'm pretty sure was like, what? Especially if you don't be tripping. That's why I think that the Kid Cudi and Kanye riff, it when that was the end, I was just like, dang, because Kid Cudi pretty much put up with a lot of Kanye's antics. And it's one of those things like, yeah, as he was saying, uh as because you're going in it as like a fan as well. So you're just like, oh man, Kanye West, like what? And you're working with them different things like that. And then you find out the other side of his Gemini, and you're like, oh, oh, this nigga's crazy. Like I want to be in the room or I want to see when that realization happened to Big Sean. He was just all like, wait, and then just Like, when did that happen?
Is one of the rappers from like a previous generation along with Lil Wayne and a bunch of other folks. That's important. So since Big Sean and Drake are like this new generation, they don't really have too much pull in the industry. When their mentors tell them to do something, they do it. So Kanye would say like, hey, yo, Big Sean, come to the studio. It don't matter what Big Sean is doing. He would go to the studio. Kanye would say, help me write this verse. Big Sean will help him write the verse. It's sort of a respect thing. This guy signed you, he changed your life. Hey, I'ma do it. But remember, I said Kanye be wildin'. As you could probably imagine today, if Kanye feels super inspired and just wants to make a song, he'll just wake up, call Big Sean and say, yo, Big Sean, Sean Don. Sean would be like, well, it's 3 in the morning, Kanye. Kanye would be like, it's not 3 in the morning in Turkey. Fly over here, we're making a song. It kind of reminds me of that wild, erratic boss you see in movies.
It's not 3 a.m. here in Turkey.
And the person that works for them. And Big Sean technically worked for Kanye. You see, Big Sean was signed under Kanye's rap label. If you don't know much about rap labels, how it usually goes is you'll have a giant record label like Universal Music, a label under them like Def Jam. Def Jam will have another label owned by an artist like Good Music, Kanye, and that artist will sign an artist. All these people need to get paid. So that artist ain't getting too much money. But back then, that wasn't too much of a problem for rappers because one, it wasn't as easy as it is now to get popular. And two, these rap labels usually had a big artist leading them. So you would get more popular. Anyway, let's get to where the problem starts. So Drake and Kanye had a long time beef. Remember, Drake is from like a younger generation and Kanye is from that middle generation. And since they were both the top rappers at the time, a rivalry was naturally gonna occur. But here's the problem though. Kanye and Drake are way too similar. They're both very sensitive. So Drake may spit something like, I'm the number one rapper today. Kanye might be like, yo, that's hard. Who cares if you number one because you don't make no money? You like that one? Drake may be like, oh snap, that's hard, Kanye. I got a bigger pool than Kanye. He actually said this in a song. Kanye might be like, and then Kanye might dig up his pool, make it a few inches bigger than Drake's and say my pool's bigger than Drake's. Haha. This actually happened as well. Now, where does Big Sean sit in all this? Remember, Big Sean is signed to Kanye, but he's also pretty cool with Drake since they both came up around the same time. And since it's not all out war between Kanye and Drake, Big Sean can talk to both of them. No big deal, right?
Which, when the time it was going on and like there's the like control verse and everything that was going on, I think this is when people like fans were just all like, okay, where's the actual beef? We want like, some bars going against you. We don't want these subliminal games. Because Big Sean would be in every interview and he's like, I'm cool with everybody. Everybody was just cool with everybody, which is cool. Don't get it twisted. I do not like the promotion of violence or, certain conflict that it's just all like, but we're dealing with people whose egos are on other planets. They literally were beefing over pool size, and this ninja's just all like, I'm gonna make my pool a couple of inches bigger. Like, they're on something else, but like he was saying in the beginning, this is no different from like the friends or family, relative arguments or different, dynamics that you have. It's just on a higher level. So, but yeah, I do remember him being like in this middle, like I'm cool with everybody, like
Well, Big Sean's getting ready to release his album that's about to be huge. By the way, Big Sean's numbers are always like top 3 at this point. So he's not that far behind Kanye and Drake. So Big Sean says, hey Drake, you wanna hop on my album? Drake says, of course. He says, Kanye, you wanna hop on my album? Kanye says, of course, I'll do 2 songs. Big Sean says, great, thanks. Goes back to Drake. Drake says, hey man, I got this really good song called Blessings. Big Sean says, yo man, let's make it together. They make it. And it's good, like really good. Now remember I told you Kanye is Big Sean's mentor. Really, so before Big Sean releases an album, he shows it to his mentor. Hey, what do you think? Kanye's listening. He's like, okay, this is good. He hears Blessing. He goes, Big Sean goes, that one's hot, huh? Kanye goes, show is. Let me get on it. Big Sean goes, Kanye, I'd never say no to you, but my album's released tomorrow. Now, they weren't actually with each other at this point, but Kanye tells him, yo, then fly over to where I'm at, help me make my verse, and then we'll release it tomorrow. Big Sean goes, okay, I can't say no to you, Kanye, so he goes over. Big Sean helps him make his verse. That's important. And then he tells him, this really needs to be out by tomorrow. Kanye goes, oh yeah, most definitely. Now this situation is so serious that Big Sean even calls Kanye's engineers. He can't move around the release date. He already told the world, I'm releasing my album on this day. He says, engineers, make sure you guys finish Kanye's verse by tomorrow. They said, gotcha. Tomorrow comes around. Gotcha. Big Sean calls Drake. He tells him, Kanye is gonna be on that song, by the way. Drake goes, bro, your album's gonna be released tomorrow. Big Sean goes, I can't say no. Now, Drake didn't have a problem with Kanye being on the song, but Drake's problem was more like, bro, the song's done. You know what I mean? Like, the song's already like 4 minutes long. They got 3 verses back and forth on it. It just didn't really make sense artistically, but Drake was like, all right, whatever, bro. Now, at this point, Big Sean still hasn't gotten Kanye's verse. So he calls the engineer. This isn't Big Sean's job, by the way. He's just trying to look out for his boy. He calls the engineer. He says, bro, you finished my boy's verse yet? The engineer goes, what? Big Sean goes, Kanye West, I told you to finish his verse. The engineer goes, oh yeah, Kanye ain't saying that to me. Big Sean says, cap. He hangs up. He calls Kanye. He says, wow, Kanye. He said, cap. Goes, what's good, my boy? Big Sean goes, yo, where the verse at? Kanye goes, oh yeah, I wanted to make some edits and all that. You know what I'm saying? Big Sean goes, my album actually came out right now. In fact, I'm going to go shoot the video with Drake. We already have 2 songs together on my album, so no big deal, right? Kanye goes, yeah, no big deal, man. Big Sean goes, no hard feelings? Kanye goes, not a one. In fact, I'm gonna come to the video and check it out. Kanye goes over to watch Drake and Big Sean, to shoot the music video. Kanye looks around and goes, you know what, Big Sean, screw you. He starts cussing out Big Sean, talking about, bro, why you doing this song with Drake over me? You choosing sides? So Big Sean explains the situation again. Kanye like, oh yeah, no big deal. Big Sean is like, no, Kanye, I don't think you understand it. I helped you write your verse. Like the YouTuber just, I helped you write your verse. Why did I help you write your verse if I had an agenda against you? Kanye like, I said we good. Big Sean was like, Big Sean was like, I don't think they good. They wasn't good. Kanye started telling everybody a whole different story. Big Sean was like,
oh my God. No, you're not. Kanye is so freaking petty, man. The level of just, it's unfortunate, man. Like I said, the level of egos that these people are playing on, I just couldn't fathom to feel so self-absorbed that, yo, your artist is dropping an album the last minute, literally the night before. You want to hop on it. You could have just been like, hey, let's do a remix to promote the album, something like that. He's just like, okay, cool, let's do this. Did all of this stuff. And then the next day, trip out because the song is looking hot, and you're just like, everything was there for you. He even helped you write it. Big Sean, like he was saying, that's not his job, but he's just making sure that, hey, this gets taken care of. And yeah, that would be stressful. That would be stressful. And what's crazy is that probably isn't even what fully did it. You know what I mean? Like, oh, man.
Different stories from everyone else. He would go to good music. They'd be like, damn, what you did to Kanye was crazy. Big Sean, what'd he tell you? He would go over to his other artist friends. They'd be like, that's kind of crazy that you did that, Big Sean. He would call Kanye. He would pull him aside and be like, Kanye, we just talked about this. Kanye would be like, oh yeah, no, we good, bro, we good. But the people that work with Kanye kind of understood how he was, so this wasn't like really too bad on Big Sean. Now, fast forward a bunch of years, Big Sean's album does really well. He's making millions for himself and for a lot of other people. Remember how many labels he's basically signed to? Well, he's technically not signed to all of them, but it's kind of like how Disney owns Star Wars and Star Wars owns like Star Wars stuff. But see, like in government, the more people that have their hands on money, the more money can go missing. And this happens a lot with record labels. So Big Sean gets his top-notch manager from Roc Nation, owned by Jay-Z. The top-notch manager goes, have you done an audit yet? Now, what an audit does is it forces a company or a person to tell you where all your money is going. Big Sean goes, no, I haven't done that. His manager goes, yeah, you should do it. So he does an audit and finds out he's owed $6 million. Now, you may think, well, that's not too much for a rapper, but rappers do not get paid like you think they get paid. Now, at this point, Kanye's got like a lot of cash. So how it looked to Big Sean was Kanye was up and he was taking money from him. And why it looked like that especially was because the auditors tracked down where the money went missing. And it was under Kanye's record label, Good Music. Yeah, Universal and Def Jam were like, yeah, we pretty shiesty, but we gave you your money this time. Go talk to Kanye. Now, to be fair to Kanye, he might not have an active hand in saying, let me take Big Sean's money. It might have just happened. Nah, it might have just happened for $6 million. It's insane. Somebody was definitely taking the money, but it might not have been Kanye. It might have been someone else in Good Music. Now, what makes things even worse is his manager also tells him, you're signed to the worst deal I've ever seen in my life.
Wow.
Them folk was taking your money. Kanye was making more off your music than you was, bro. Now, about the deal, Big Sean wasn't tripping because, again, like he said, Kanye changed his life. As for the $6 million, at this point, he doesn't confront Kanye about it. I don't know if he confronts him about it like in the future. That's something you'd have to ask Big Sean. Anyway, at this point, Kanye is, wilding. He's doing the whole 2020 election thing. Now, Kanye goes on an interview. And here's
with Drake's
wicked.
Yeah, because when I seen that, I was just all like, what? When Kanye sat up there and said his worst decision was signing Big Sean, and then he went like really deep with it. He's just all like on my gravestone saying, and I'm like, yo, Kanye, what are you doing? Like, it was just like, there was points where I guess for me, I wouldn't say there's giving grace. I don't know these people personally. So it's just all like when they do certain stuff, because they're in the public eye, because I don't know what's the truth and what's not and all those things in these celebrity lives, I try not to have so much stock into, oh, I don't like him because of X, Y, and Z. But Kanye makes it very, very, very difficult because it's just all like, is it a troll? Is it not? When does the troll not happen to where you just get genuine Kanye? And then it's just like, well, that is a part of genuine Kanye. But some of the stuff that I've seen on camera, whether in context or out of context, context doesn't matter, but it's just all like, yo, you can't treat people like that. You know what I mean? And Kanye, I'm pretty sure, is not the worst when it comes to being that way, but you just can't do that, So I'm pretty sure that's what he's about to talk about because that interview was wild.
At this point, Big Sean left the label because, he's not getting no money from them. The interview people start asking Kanye about the people he signed, and unprovoked, Kanye goes, hey, by the way, the worst thing I ever did was sign Big Sean. Now, this was such a shock. The interviewer himself was so confused, he thought he said the best thing I ever did was sign Big Sean. So he starts clapping. Kanye goes, nah, you ain't hearing me. I said worst thing. The interviewer goes, oh. They said, Kanye, why? Kanye said, well, when I was running for president, they didn't support me. The interviewer said, okay. Kanye goes, yeah, Big Sean and John Legend ain't support me, I said. The interviewer was like,
that's it.
Now Big Sean hears this, and as you can imagine, he's upset because of all the stuff that I told you in this video. So Kanye hits him up actually and tells him, yo, man, we gotta forget the past and we gotta heal. Big Sean goes, Kanye goes, just to be clear, you did some things wrong, I did some things wrong, but let's do it. Let's move forward. Big Sean goes, tripping. So he does an interview with the same people Kanye did, and he basically says everything that I told you in this story. Some things are just what they are. And I've been a fan of hip hop a long time. For those of you that have been fans of hip hop a long time, you probably know as well. If Kanye and Drake are beefing with somebody, it's probably because Kanye or Drake got in their feelings. They even beefed with each other at one point and were both really confused as to why the other was mad at them. And the common trend with both of them is if you beef with either of them one time, then you're probably going to beef with them again and again and again. The Kanye and Kid Cudi situation puts this whole thing in perspective perfectly. Kanye would randomly at times do crazy things to Kid Cudi. Kid Cudi would be like, what did I do? Kanye would be like, you remember what you did. And Kid Cudi eventually said, I don't talk to Kanye really anymore because he's just not going to change. And this was after like a
Yeah.
15-year back and forth.
Yeah.
I don't know if they
Yeah.
cool now. And I know it's hard for a lot of Kanye fans to like detach themselves, but you got to see Kanye as just a human being. He's a human being that
Yeah.
has his issues. It's what it is. We all may know
Yeah.
somebody like that. But I do know Big Sean still says he loves and respects Kanye, but I don't think they're like buddy like they was.
Before we get into that, this video is sponsored by me. Hey, if you want to dive into new music, I have a catalog. Catalog. Yeah. These are not singles, these are albums. But more recently this year, I did release an album called Tame Chaos. So you can listen, stream, download, purchase all of that in the link in the description. And just check it out because I want to see if people are actually seeing this and going to the site. So anyways, yeah, I definitely agree with that for sure. Man, it's definitely a trip, man. Growing up, just seeing these icons, these legends, and just seeing the stuff that, they're doing. And then you start peeling back the layers. You start seeing this stuff, and you're just, especially as someone who is a rapper themselves, and just seeing how you want to navigate, it's just all like, oh, I'm cool without all of that stuff. You know what I mean? I'm cool with all of that stuff, and so it goes to ask yourself, like, as an artist, what is it that you want? And then even as a fan, how do you stay a fan, or is there moments that an artist can cross that makes you say, okay, I'm done. I'm not a fan of them anymore. And do you stop listening to their music, or is it that deep to you? Let me know in the comments. But yeah, this is a tragic beef for sure. Like, even he brought up the Kid Cudi thing, like I was saying at the beginning. It's just all like, yeah, those two artists, and when you see how close they were, as far as especially for collaboration, but the way Kanye maneuvered it, despite it, it's just all like, sometimes we like to just give so much grace to Kanye. It's like he had this label, all these people, plus he's Kanye, so I would say that the fact that we got these artists was already great. I think that if Kanye were to do it in a different way, he would need to have, and who's to say that he did or didn't? I mean, but there would need to be more people involved, because as far as in the managing of everything, because it's just all like there's too much stuff that goes under the radar, under the rug, and like he was saying, this is under several other lately, so it's just a whole big mess. But let me know what y'all think in the comments. It's Mr. Composition MC that writes fiction, back at it with another reaction. Make sure to like, subscribe, notification bells on so you don't miss when I drop a new video on the road to 5K. Make sure to check out the description for my music, books, comics, and more. All right, y'all. Peace.